Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. In this guide we're going to be covering through the final part of the Adeptus Custodes Combat Patrol. Focusing on this one is the Custodian Wardens. Now bear in mind I do refer to them as Guardians quite often, so forget that mistake, they are Wardens, but I'm going to give you a very quick, very simple and straightforward scheme that matches all the rest of the other ones, that helps you batch paint them in next to no time at all, but equally leaving an outstanding result. So grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobby. And we're beginning the Custodian Wardens, the final part of my combat patrol for the Adeptus Custodes. So I always start a video just explaining the ground basics of the model before we get painting, just in case you want to match it absolute. The models are fully assembled. I'm only going to show this one because they're all built identically, holding this axe weapon. Nice and simple, no leaders, just bog standard soldiers. And it's fully assembled. It's also primed in white scar. Granted, there's a lot of work to do when it comes to base coating all that gold and doing all that work, but with white scar it means we get all the contrast painting done first, exactly as we want it to be and as we intend it to be. It makes sense in the long run, just makes life a little bit easier. So with that said, let's get to painting. And first up, we're going to start working on all of our red details. So we've got the main sort of cloth that we've got here. We've got the belt, we've got the gloves, we've got the plume of hair. Nice and simple. We've also got the inside of the cloak as well. But here's the beauty, we can afford to be messy. Let's talk the colour first. Baal Red, nice and simple, paint it all over. There's nothing really to the method here. We want to avoid details that we have yet to paint in contrast detail. So that's, for instance, the soft seal armour. However, where we've got all the gold and the silver metallic details to do, we can afford to be messy. So, for instance, the inside leg, yeah, I've made a right mess of it, and that's absolutely fine. You're going to need to. The thing I'd recommend for the inside parts as well, get a small airbrush that is battered. Has got a tip, but not a good tip at all. It's got no further use except for smashing into those areas and just getting the paint around as much as possible. So get that done. Don't worry about the metallic details. Just remember, when it comes to Custodes, you catch the armour gets base coated in metallics. Who cares? Get that done. We'll move on to the next step. While Baal Red is a great base coating colour, it doesn't act in traditional contrast painting methods. It has a very smooth coverage. It's absolutely ideal for bright, vivid looks. However, it doesn't have the recess shading, it doesn't pull away from the actual edges, but it's the coverage we want here to act as an underlayer, and we can easily get that recess shade in this next mix. So, into a palette, take 1 part of Blood Angel's Red and mix it with 1 part of Lahmium Medium. Lahmium Medium here is all about helping with the flow and control of the paint, thinning it down so it's not so intense. But again, it's about control. If you've got control in painting, life becomes easier. So once again, over all of the red details, and just to point out, I forgot to do this in the first part, so again, Baal Red to begin with, you've got this little bit here. It would be here, but of course the cloth's in the way and it's not sculpted in. So get all of that done, let it completely dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to create a 1-to-1 mix. Our colours here are Cygor Brown, followed by a mix of Flesh Terror's Red. So nice and simple, it's a 1-to-1 mix, and this is just going over the gloves and over the belt. Nice and simple, it just creates a different distinctive shade of red that just helps create more dynamic looks to the model. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Black Templar, and we've got all the soft seal armour to do. So to begin with, we've got the armpits. From the back here you can't really see it, but it is just slightly there. They're more exposed at the front is what I found. You've got this little section, the front waist, as well as the back. You've got the leg armour, though in fairness, you could try and get the one on the other leg. It's a bit pointless in my personal opinion. You can barely see it, and you're not really going to notice it once it's fully painted. And then we've got the gun casing itself. Now for this model, we've got this rope here, which we do want to avoid getting the Black Templar on. At the same time, it can be relayered in white scar. And on that same note, I am being sloppy and messy in the sense there are metallic details around. I'm not fussed about them. If I catch them, they're going to get base coated in metallics, so we've got a bit of freedom of movement there. So get those details done and we'll move on to base coating our gold. And just a note before we do move on to that gold, there is the groin area as well. Just missed that one, but I want to point out before we get onto the gold. So that is all of our Black Templar details done. Let's move on to our metallics. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our gold details. Nice and simple. It's just Retributor Armour. There's nothing really to it here. Just take your time. It is tedious in that sense. You've got 5 models. There's a lot of work to do. But remember, when doing this kind of batch painting, it's the end result that's the reward. The only thing really to note here is the inside leg here, just because obviously it's hard to get to. Again, using a small airbrush, one that's a bit battered and old, where the bristles are still in shape of sorts, but not in shape enough to do fine detail, but enough to get a bit of paint in, base coat it, where if they get damaged and paint gets into the fell, it's not the end of the world. So get that done, let it dry, and then we'll shade all of our gold. Next up, we're going to shade all of that gold armour, and the mix I like to use here is Gore Grunta Fur. We need to thin it down, otherwise it's going to be too dark. So take 1 part of Gore Grunta Fur, and we're mixing roughly 4 parts, maybe even 5, of Lahmium Medium. Nice and simple. We're just base coating it over all of that gold, letting it settle into the recesses. Now normally, with my Custodes models, what I tend to do, especially on the characters and the big vehicles, I add another sort of recess shade of Cygor Brown. That's optional if you want to do it. For this one, because we're batch painting a whole squad, I want to make life simpler. So I'm only sticking with the Gore Grunta Fur, and I've just gone a little bit thicker into some of the recesses. So for instance, like the helmet here, between the leg armor, just to make it that little bit more darker. It just saves time. It's your choice. So if you want to carry on, you can look at some of the other guides that I've done, and you can see how that differs. It's only subtle. It's only slightly different with the Cygor Brown. It just adds more depth to the recesses, but it's down to personal choice. But if you're batch painting like me and want to save time, this mix is just good enough. So let that completely dry, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our silver details, and the colour I like to use here for my Custodes is Iron Hand Steel. Essentially, as a base coat, it's the brightest, and I want bright colours just to show off their magnificence. So for this one, we've obviously got the exposed dagger, you've got all the axe blades, you've got this kind of intricate detail around the model, as you can see on the staff. There's the other side, nice and simple. Vents in the back, this little double section here, nice and simple. You've also got the little buckles on the arms, and then you've got the faceplate itself. So what I do here is the eyes, that sort of faceplate that goes under the eyes, not the central column, and you just got these little cables as well. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, focusing on those white rope details, nice and simple, base coat of Apothercary White. Always starting at the top in these cases, just because gravity will pull the contrast paint down, and you don't want excessive pooling at the bottom. So if you apply too much at the bottom to begin with and go up, it's only going to drain downwards. So get that done. We'll wait for the silver to dry, and then we can shade it. Next up, we're going to shade those silver details. I've got 2 colours here. We're starting with Drakenhof Nightshade. This is practically for all of our silver details, just minus the axe blade. It's literally as simple as that. So everything else just gets a nice simple shade of that colour. Just don't let it settle into the eyes, because we've got a different colour for that one, but they can always be relayered if it happens. It's not the end of the world. So that covers the silver details. Then, as you can see, we've got the axe blade and the base. Nice and simple, the colour is Frostheart. Nothing really to it, just base coat it over the axe blades. I've done it over the bases because I'm going with an Arctic theme. If that's your vibe, then absolutely do that. Otherwise, just base it as you want to. With that, our models are battle ready. They are looking fabulous for the tabletop, but they're not yet complete. Custodes look so much better, especially when the armor's buffed up and shining gold. So we're going to take it to the next level and add a whole series of highlights. Starting with our highlights, we're going to focus on the red details. To begin with, we've got 2 sets. We've got the dark red, which is going to be one colour. We've got the lighter red, different colour. Nice and simple. Let's start with the light red. To begin with, I'm taking Wild Rider Red. This is just an overall chunky red highlight. So you can kind of see this colour here. Obviously, we're going to brighten up in the next bit, which we'll explain in a second. but this is an all over red, but I'm not worrying about the plume. That's just going to be a pure dry brush of a different colour, and that different colour is going to be Fire Dragon Bright. So small dry brush, do the hair plumes, nice and simple. Then focusing once again on the cloth, we're just going to do where the light hits the most, is where it curves, those sharper edges, just a more refined highlight there. Now normally with the Custodes, I tend to do Luganaf Orange as a spot highlight. This cloth doesn't really have sharp points. I mean, you've got a little bit there. So for this set of models, I haven't bothered to. It's not like the capes where you've got real proper sharp edges. But again, that's a personal choice that I'm making. If you want to do that, that's down to you. So that completes our bright red details. Then we've got the darker red details. And nice and simple, the colour I like to use here is Squig Orange. So you've got the belts, you've got the gloves. It's as simple as that. Just traditional edge highlighting. Then to finish off this model, we've got the rope, nice and simple, and I'm just using white scar, just catching all the edges with a small airbrush and giving it that more refined highlight. So get that done and we'll move on to our gold details. Next up, we're working on our gold armour, and to begin with, I'm creating something I like to refer to as shining gold. So into a palette, we're going to mix 2 parts of Stormhost Silver with 1 part of Retributor Armour. Nice and simple. Shining gold is literally what you're seeing right here. So this is all of our intricate detailing. We're just going to simply relayer, avoiding all the recesses, and just create this real ornate shining effect. As you can see, nice and simple. Just take your time across 5 models. There's a lot to do, so just be patient, take your time. It's worth the end result. So get that done. Then we'll move on to buffing all of the remaining gold armour. Next up, we're going to take our time and buff all of the remaining gold armour. So this does not include the shining armour. This is practically everything else, again avoiding the recesses. And the colour here is Auric Armour Gold. Now granted, it's a layer paint, however it's not a layer paint in the traditional sense. So what we're going to do, take the smallest amount onto your paintbrush and just gently paint it onto all the surfaces that have gone all that matted down effect. So we did the Gore Grunta Fur, matted down the armour. We're now just relayering it, but only the tiniest amount. Essentially, yes, it's a layer paint, but in the smallest amount, it acts as a glaze. So we still get the Gore Grunta Fur shining through in some areas. However, as you can see, it restores and buffs that gold metallic shine all over. So take your time, because obviously there's a lot to do. Avoid the recesses. But in some cases, I've got it into the recesses, and if you've only got the tiniest amount, it doesn't alter anything. Like I said, it's more of a glaze rather than a layer. So get that done, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to finish off all of that gold armour, as well as the black casing, and working on the blade. Nice and simple, we're going back to Stormhost Silver, and this time it is a dry brush. I'm using a small dry brush size, and it's just going all over the armour, just hitting very gently all the edges as much as possible in the sense where light catches, just to give it that real extra shine and buff. It's subtle, especially with all the brightness we've added to it, but it just finishes it off nicely. I've done it over the black Templar casing to kind of show that it's metallic. I've also done it over the blades, so we've got a nice edge highlight, though the actual blue, even if it looks a bit scruffy, like it can do a bit here, as you can see, we're not at the end. We're adding another colour over that later on. The other thing to note with the Stormhost Silver is I am picking out all the gems. Nice and simple. In this case, I haven't relayered them. I've been able to catch them all with a dry brush, but if you don't feel that's good enough for you, go to a small dry brush, just pick them out. Either or works fine. So get that done. The gold armour is now finished. All of our silver details are finished. Let's move on to the next step. Next up, I'm base coating all of the gems in Frostheart. Essentially, I'm using this paint, A, because it's blue, it just creates this triadic colour scheme. Think of gold as yellow, we've obviously got the red, and just this little bit of blue just helps make the model pop more. So, nice and simple, get all of that base coated. Then, we're going to create a mix, and this is now for the axe blade itself. We want it to be slightly different from the gems, but still having that kind of shiny blue effect. So, we're going to take 1 part of Akhelian Green and mix that in a palette with 1 part of Lahmium Medium. So it's a 1-to-1 mix. It takes away the intensity, and it just means when you paint it over, the Stormhost Silver will still shine through. Now, when you do that, both the Frostheart and the Akhelian Green will obviously matte down the metallics, so it's going to look quite flat, quite boring, quite dull. So, just to make the gems and the blade enhance that little bit more, I'm taking Ardcoat. Nice simple gloss varnish, and it just makes everything shine, as you can see. So, that completes all of those details. Finally, we're going to move on to the eyes. Using a small airbrush, because we only need the tiniest amount, we're going to take Angron Red Clear. This is an air paint. It is glossy when it dries, which is absolutely perfect for eye lenses. Just beware when you apply it, because you can absolutely use a normal brush to do it. It will take a long time to dry. It's not going to be a problem, because at this rate, the whole model's finished. We're going to be working on the base next. But if you have a need to do stuff around the eyes, just be aware it takes twice as long as a normal paint. So, that's for all of the eye lenses. Gives a nice shiny red glow that's very subtle, and it just works really nicely with the model. So, get all that done, and then we'll move on to the base. And finally, we're applying texture to the base. Going with the Arctic theme, I'm sticking classic here with Valhallan Blizzard. If you're copying along, it's the sort of thing you just add as little as much as you want. With that done, the Guardians are complete. And before we go to the final bit, I'm just going to add a few grass tufts to finish it off, but they are looking awesome. And there we have it. My Guardians are complete. And I've got to say, when it comes to batch painting, this is a lot less tedious in that sense. They're brilliant models, and there's enough interesting details with the cloaks and the armour to really break things up and just make it a lot more fun. Now, if this video has helped and inspired you, then please do leave that all-important like. And share it too. I always say this, and I always mean this. Sharing isn't about being fame hungry here. These videos and guides have been created to help you, as painters, giving you tips, giving you tricks, giving you ideas to help you, the Warhammer community. So by sharing, you're only serving the purpose of my channel, and it's greatly appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed, then please consider doing that too. Supporting me means I get to continue supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until the next time, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.